Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing, review, and first time grind test of the Kaffe Electric Blade Coffee Grinder, which is this grinder right here. This is an electric coffee grinder that you can currently get on Amazon for only $23, which is a really affordable price for this type of grinder. This is going to be the black color, but they've got 5 separate color options. They've got black, matte black, copper, stainless steel, and then a white. So plenty of variety based on your personal preference. And so what we'll do in this video is we'll go over the features of this, take it out of the packaging, then I'll walk through grinding it with different durations of time to give you a sense of how the grind changes as you hold it or grind it longer. As always, if you're interested in potentially purchasing this, I'll leave links in the description below. Okay, so this is the Kaffe Electric Blade Coffee Grinder. Before we go over this product, I did want to emphasize one other product from this company, and that's actually their handheld rechargeable milk frother. I did a separate video on this, but this is a milk frother that you can currently get on Amazon for only $25. It's really got some nice features to it, and the fact that it's a stainless steel design, really weighty in the hand as far as how well it's made. And then it actually includes a single whisk as well as a double whisk included. It has a rechargeable USB port on the back here, so you don't need batteries. And then it actually has an on-off switch that once you press it, it stays on. So you don't actually have to hold the back at all. You can just hit the button, leave it on, and kind of let it do its thing. And so I'm really impressed with this product for the price. I've reviewed a wide variety of milk frothers, and this is definitely the best I've seen so far. And so I'm really excited about this coffee grinder. So we'll just start going over this. But this is the Kaffe Electric Blade Coffee Grinder. You can currently get this on Amazon for $23. This is going to be the black color, but they have 5 separate colors. As I stated, they've got black, matte black, copper, white, and stainless steel. I suspect the stainless steel would be very similar to this color for the handheld milk frother to give you a sense, but you can check out the link below as far as the different color options. As far as the packaging, we'll just go over it. So basically it says, it takes beans, coffee beans from coarse to fine quickly and efficiently. It's compact and functional, strong, durable stainless steel cutting blades. It has a transparent lid that allows you to actually evaluate the coarseness, which is nice because you can actually see it. Some grinders like this actually don't do that. And then there's an easy on-off push button so it stays on, and you actually can just press it and you don't have to hold it, which actually looking at all the other grinders, I believe, you actually have to hold it as you use it, which is a little bit different. And then the other thing here is they do emphasize the different coarseness that you can get with this, and this is what I'll highlight in a second. But for 10 seconds it'll be coarse, 15 a little bit finer, 20 seconds it'll be medium or fine, and then 25 seconds it'll be fine, like finer than that. So I'll walk through that in a second as far as grinding, but we'll get this actually out of the package and take a look at it. Okay, so here's everything that comes in the packaging. So you've got the actual grinder, which we'll go over in a second. They have a coupon that allows you to purchase their coffee for $1 only using the QR code, which is cool. And then they actually have the user manual, but this should be pretty straightforward. As far as the coffee grinder, this is what it looks like. So it says Kaffe at the bottom in white lettering. This is going to be a like gloss black finish. It's basically a plastic material across the entire side here. I suspect that the black, matte black, will just be a matte finish, so it won't be that shiny finish there. There is a clear lid here that actually lifts directly off. This is what it looks like. And so it's a clear lid that inserts directly on here. And the power button is actually directly here. I think this is a power button where you have to press and hold it the entire duration, but we'll see when we actually plug it in. But that's the main features. And then inside here is the actual burr. So it's a 2-sided burr grinder that's got the blade there, and that's what it looks like there. So as compared to other grinders, this is very similar to the Krups grinder. You can check out that video. But it was a very, very similar design as far as that. The only thing is the Krups grinder, the button here was a little bit more wobbly, and a little bit cheaper, but very comparable as far as like the overall build and make. The only difference is just different brands, and we'll have to test out the actual grind. But what I'll do now is I'll plug this in and we'll actually start walking through grinding with this to give you a sense of how it performs. Okay, so now that it's plugged in, we can test it out. So we'll hit the on button. And so immediately it turns on. And then when you release it, it does turn off. It does not stay on, so you do have to press and hold it when you're actually grinding things. One thing that I do notice is if you listen, it's got this like high-pitched kind of whiny sound when you release it, which is a little bit different, but otherwise it's not too loud as compared to other ones. And then the other thing is the lid stays on securely with this, and so there's no wobbling at all. It really just inserts really well, and there's no wobbling, and the button's pretty solid there, so that's nice as compared to the Krups one, which just had like a kind of cheap kind of plasticky feel as far as the lid. But this one seems to be a little bit better made. Now what we'll do is walk through grinding coffee at different lengths of time to get a sense of the coarseness based on how long you grind it for. And so what we'll do is we'll just do one scoop at a time, put it in the container and then grind it. First off, we'll grind for only 10 seconds, which should be a coarse grind. So we'll grind for 10 seconds. All right, so that's about 10 seconds. And with that amount of grinding, you can see that it is coarser as far as the coarseness here. Something that you could use for French press. There are a little bit of a couple chunks in here that are not fully ground, but that's kind of what it is. And so we'll pour that on the side here so you can see at the end what it actually looks like for side-by-side comparison. Now what we'll do is we'll do another scoop, and for this one what we're going to do is we're going to do this for 15 seconds. And so that's about 15 seconds. And so here, hopefully you can see this on camera, it's a little bit dark there. It is definitely a little bit more finer. This is more consistent with like a coarser grind, a typically coarser grind. The chunks are less in there, and so it's definitely more fine there. And so we'll get that out. And I believe there should have been a brush that came in this. At least on the Amazon listing, it does include a brush, but I don't actually see that anywhere. So I'm not sure if I missed that in the packaging or it's built in somewhere, but I don't see the brush. So I didn't actually get a brush with this, but I think it actually includes a brush based on the pictures on Amazon. Now what we'll do is we'll do another scoop, and we're going to do this for 20 seconds. Sorry, I wanted to grab my brush so I can actually scoop this out in between. So that was 20 seconds, and so in here, hopefully you can see it, but it is definitely more fine, definitely a finer grind there as compared to the others. I'll pour that out there. And that's probably something that would be very reasonable for like a pour over. If you want, you could probably do it a little bit longer from that standpoint. But as you'll be able to see, the grind is definitely getting more finer as you go through this. And then next we'll do 25 seconds, which is they say is the finest for here. And so we'll do 25 seconds. All right, so that's 25 seconds. And you can see that there is some residue building up on the top lid here as you get a little bit finer. One thing to note is there's a little bit of heat as you run this longer. Not too much, but you can just feel it on the bottom here. But in the actual cup, there's just like a subtle amount of heat. You have to keep that in mind when you're grinding, because if you grind too long, it can release the oils in the coffee as you're grinding it, which can kind of dampen the actual grind. But at 25 seconds, it's definitely more fine there. Probably as fine as you can get without overheating it. And so what I'll do is I'll just brush this all out. And then that's kind of the gist of it as far as the different grinds. And then what we'll do is we'll just move the camera here. So up top here, we have the 10 seconds, which is like a coarse grind. There's a couple chunks, but the majority of the actual beans are kind of broken up. But a couple pieces like this where it's not entirely there. I would think that if I added more coffee, not just one scoop, it'd probably grind a little bit better. But I didn't want to make too much when I did this one. Next up over here, you have the 15 seconds. So as you can tell, it's a little bit more finer. Those chunks are removed. So really about 15 seconds is where it really would be useful compared to having the big chunks there. And then next up here is the 20 seconds. And so this is definitely fine, well grinded throughout. I don't see any chunks at all. It's definitely a very fine grind from that standpoint. And then lastly, oh wow, that's actually pretty fine. It's very light. is the 25 seconds, which is very, very light, very well ground there. You don't have any chunks, and it's very, very well ground there. And so that's 10 seconds, 15, 20, 25. So you do get a good variety of grinds with the Kaffe coffee grinder. And at this price, it's very reasonable. I'll say that as compared to the other grinders I've looked at on the market, this is definitely better than the Krups one. The overall design and build is better made. The grind is more consistent with time as you use this. As far as compared to the Bodum's pretty solid. I do like the overall design as far as the fact that it has more design elements, and that it has some like texture to the side of it. This sleek design does make it a little bit slippery, so it's not as great a grip. But the Bodum's probably seems like performs comparable to this. So really it's a side-by-side comparison of like what you would prefer as far as design. But overall, that's really all I have for this video. But this is the Kaffe electric blade grinder. You can get this on Amazon for only $23, which is very, very affordable for these type of grinders. And it's very convenient to have these because it allows you to grind your coffee fresh. So when you make it in the morning, or if you make pour over or French press, you can vary it up. The other recommendation I have is you could always get a handheld grinder like the Zassenhaus grinder, which is what I primarily use. Though the only caveat to this is it does take a lot longer to grind, and it's less convenient from that standpoint. But it is a very elegant product, and I have done videos on this, but this is like my go-to. But when I'm in a pinch where I need to grind more quickly, or if I'm at work and don't have that grinder, I really would use something like this. And the Kaffe one is pretty good from that standpoint, as far as the grind and the elements, as far as the overall features. So definitely check it out. If you have questions, comments, post them below. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for if you're looking at this on Amazon or on the Kaffe website. And as well, check out the milk frother, because their milk frother is like really, really nice for the price, with the fact that it has the multiple whisks, the rechargeable battery, and the kind of like nicer stand as compared to other ones, and the on-off switch is like kind of automated. So that's all I have. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.